Good morning, students. So let us see few more example problems from multiplication theorem of dependent and independent events. And look at here, few more questions. Example number 31. If AB equals to 1 by 4 and PA equals to 3 by 4, then find P of B given A. Right? Question it is very clear. Find P of B given A. P of B given A. So usually what is the formula for P of B given A? A is known, right? Known part should be taken as a denominator, P of A, and then the combination between A and B. So this is the formula of P of B given A. Now substitute those values here. 1 by 4 divided by 3 by 4. Answer is 1 by 3. Just one mark question, guys, this one. Very simple one. Just substitute the formula. Remember this formula. Okay, very important formula. Next, if P of A intersection B equals to 1 by 3 and P of B equals to 2 by 3, find P of A given B. So now P of A given B. Now here the known part is P of B and the intersection of A and B. So substitute here 1 by 3 by 2 by 3. 1 by 2 is the answer. So just one mark questions these are, right? You should remember this formula, P of B given A and P of A given B. Generally in multiplication theorem of dependent events, we have written the formula P of A intersection B equals to P of A into P of B given A, or P of B into P of A given B. Remember, according to that formula only these two have been generated, conditional probability formula, A given B or B given A. Next, coming to this one, B given A is given, right? P of B given A. What is the formula? P of A intersection B by the known part is P of A. Now this is given and this is given. This has to be calculated. Now substitute those values directly. P of A intersection B equals to, take this to LHS, right? P of B given A into P of A. P of B given A into P of A. Just substitute those two, multiply 2 by 5 into 5 by 6. Answer is 2 by 6, 1 by 3. Are you clear, guys? So very simple problems, all the three. Example number 31, 32, 33, just one mark questions. Finding out of P of A given B or B given A, or finding the intersection part. Clear? Yes. So let us see now few more problems. Now look at this question. Example number 34. The first bag contains 3 red and 2 green balls. Here the first bag contains 3 red and 2 green, it seems. And second bag contains 4 red and 5 green, it seems. A ball is selected at random from each bag. See, here also one ball is selected and here also one ball is selected, right? A ball is selected from each bag. What is the probability that they are red? Red and red. Here total number of balls were 5, getting red were 3. Here total number of balls were 9, getting red were 4, right? Now look at here, from two different bags one ball is selected. That means we are not replacing or anything here. Just one ball is selected. What is the possibility of getting red here? And from the second bag one ball is selected. What is the possibility of getting red? See, both are totally independent. Bag 1 and bag 2 both are independent, right? Same question, in what way it can be asked? Bag 1, a ball is selected. What is the probability of getting red? And one more ball is selected from the same bag. What is the probability of getting red when the first ball is not replaced? Not replaced means definitely you know that is without replacement. Without replacement means probability will definitely get affected, right? So when it is getting affected, definitely it is showing influence on the other event. one event which shows influence on the other event. We call it as a dependent event. Now it is totally independent because first ball is selected from first bag, second ball is also selected from second bag. So one ball each we have selected. So from the individual bag we will get the probability 3/5 as well as 4/9. Getting a red means probability of getting red, A and B. So 3/5 into 4/9. So very simple question. 3/5 into 4/9 how much? 3 ones, 3 threes. 4 divided by 5 threes, 15. So very simple. Directly we can write by using the diagrammatical way of representing the probability. But in the examination viewpoint, we have to observe all the events. So let us see the events properly. First one, let A be an event of getting a red ball. Let A be an event of getting a red ball from first bag. Next, B be an event of getting a red ball from second bag. Then, what is the probability of getting red from first bag? Total number of balls, how many are there? First bag, 3 red and 2 green. Total will be 5. And red were 3. So, 3/5. And probability of getting red from the second bag. In second bag, how many reds were there? 4 were there. So, total number of balls were 9. 4/9. Here A and B are independent. Independent means what is probability of A intersection B? So as per the definition, P of A into P of B when they are independent, just multiply 3/5 into 4/9. Answer will be 4/15. Are you clear, guys? So very easy problem now. Just a 2-mark question. Totally here A and B are independent because they are selected from different bags. Both the balls are selected from different bags. So there is no combination, there is no link between both the bags. So there the balls are different in first bag and second bag balls are different. From individual bags, individual ball is selected and what is the possibility of getting red from each bag? First bag getting red and second bag getting red. Therefore A and B events are totally independent events. Are you clear, guys? Question is only the big, solution is very simple. So let us see like this many problems. Look at the next question now. A fair coin and a die are thrown at a time, right? A fair coin and a die are thrown once. Find the probability that coins shows a head. Find the probability that a coin, here we can write, find the probability that a coin shows a head and die shows a multiple of 3. See, here the question itself explains that both the experiments are independent. One is fair coin tossing and throwing a die. So coin tossing probabilities were head and tail, possibilities were head and tail. And getting throwing a die, what are the possibilities? From 1 to 6 number faces, isn't it? So here head and tail and there 1 to 6 number. Question what it is asked? Showing a head when a coin is tossed, for possibility of showing head is 1/2, you know very clearly. And die shows a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3, what are the possible outcomes? 3, 6, multiple of 3. Out of 6 outcomes, we have only 2 favorable events, favorable outcomes, sample points. They are 3, 6, nothing but 2/6. So let us consider 2 events. Let A be an event of getting a head and B be an event of getting multiple of 3. So let us consider both the events A and B. Next, probability of getting head 1/2. So only one possibility, right? Getting a head is 1/2. Next, probability of getting multiple of 3 2/6. Out of 6 possible outcomes, 3 comma 6. Only 2, multiple of 3. 2 by 6. Then definitely both are independent events or no? A and B are both independent events. There is no connection between A and B. Here tossing of a coin and next one is a throwing a die. So both are independent events. So A and B. P of A into P of B. 1 by 2 into 2 by 6. So answer is 1 by 6. Are you clear, guys? So all are easy problems only. Only the thing is you need to understand the concept. That's it. Favorable upon exhaustive always. What is to be calculated, what exactly the question is given, condition is given, try to understand that. Whether they are dependent or independent. Here totally they are independent events. Both. One is fair coin, another one is a die. Two different experiments. Isn't it? So this is the problem now. Getting head 1 by 2. Getting multiple of 3. 3 comma 6. 2 are there out of 6 possibility outcomes. 2 by 6. So multiply A and B. Shows a coin head and it is ours. And means intersection. Right? You know that. A into B. Multiply both. You will be getting the answer 1 by 6. Are you clear? Yes. Let us see few more problems now. Look at this question now. The probability of 3 drivers A, B and C were driving home safely after consuming liquor. Find the and those probabilities are given. Driver A probability reaching the home even after consuming liquor 3 by 4 and 4 by 5 and 5 by 6 respectively. Probability of A, B, C are given. So write down first. Given probability of A is 3 by 4. Probability of B is 4 by 6, 4 by 5. Probability of C is 5 by 6. 3 probabilities are given. Next. All the 3 are independent because 3 different drivers are there. So all the 3 are independent events. All the 3 are independent events. Now, find the probability that all the 3 drivers driven safely and reached home. So, all the 3 drivers, that means A and B and C. So, all the 3 are independent means P of A into P of B into P of C. Very simple. Just multiply all the 3. One by 2 is the answer. Very simple, guys. Over. Problem is done. So question itself is only the big. Solution is very simple. So individual probabilities of 3 different drivers who are independent to each other. Right? 3 different drivers. All the 3 are independent to each other. Find the probability that all the 3 drivers driven safely and reached home. Then individual probabilities are given. P of A is 3 by 4, P of B is 4 by 5 and P of C is 5 by 6. All the 3 drivers, therefore P of A and B and C driven safely. Reached home safely. Just multiply all the 3, you get the answer 1 by 2. So problem seems to be big, but solution is very simple and easy. Remember. Okay. So let us see few more problems now. Look at this question, guys. Very interesting problem and which is very important also. So it's an important question. What is the probability that there will be 53 Mondays in a randomly selected non-leap year and leap year? So you know the meaning of leap year. Once in 4 years, one extra day will be getting it, right? Leap year means. So generally non-leap year means how many days? As you all know that 365 days. So non-leap year means 365 days. Then what about the leap year? Tell me, leap year how many days? So leap year were 366 days. You understand, guys? So non-leap year 365 days and leap year 366 days. Now let us consider What is the probability that there will be 53 Mondays in a randomly selected non-leap year and leap year? 53 Mondays we need to observe. So as usual we know that generally 365 days we will be considering it. In that 365 days, exactly in how many weeks it will be considered? Just see there, 365 divided by 7. 365 divided by 7, if you do, what will be the value? 360 by 7. Just check out 365 by 7. So you'll be getting exactly 52 weeks. Isn't it? 52 weeks you'll be getting it, plus extra 1 day remains in that. Next, 366 divided by 7. 366 divided by 7. How much? 52 weeks plus 2 days extra you will be getting it. You can count it. Isn't it, guys? So when you calculate leap year and non-leap year, out of 365 days, 52 exactly weeks you will be getting plus 1 day extra. In out of 366 leap year, 52 weeks completely we will be getting. That means 364 days. Here 364 days plus 1 day. And here 364 days plus 2 days. Right? Now, question what it is asked? 53 Mondays they are asking. 53 Mondays they are asking it. Out of 364 days, definitely we will be getting 52 Mondays. Right? So in every week there is one Monday. Out of 52 weeks, 52 Mondays we will be getting it. But we need 53rd Monday. So this one day may be the possibility of how many? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Out of 7 days, this one day may be a Monday. You understand, guys? So 364 days completely plus 1 day extra in non-leap year we'll be getting it. And here in leap year, 364 days exactly we'll be getting plus 2 days extra we'll be getting it. This one day may be a possibility of any one of these days, right? But we want only Monday. Then what is the probability of getting a Monday? 53rd Monday. 1 by 7 or no? Possibility of getting 53rd Monday in a non-leap year. Now here 2 days they are mentioning. 2 days means it may be of Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. Then possibility of 53rd Monday. Here already 52 Mondays will be getting it. Now out of these 2 days extra, possibility of those 2 days may be Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so on up to Sunday, Monday. Then there Mondays where all you can see. Here and here Mondays we can see. Then out of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Possibility of getting Monday is 2 by 7. I hope you got the answer, guys. So these only we have to write in terms of events and elaboratively neatly the probabilities have to be taken. In a shortcut way I am explaining here. Look at here clearly. This is a shortcut way what I have explained here. Try to understand. In a non-leap year, generally we have 365 days. In those 365 days, exactly 53 weeks we will be completing as 364 days plus 1 day extra you will be getting it. 1 day extra. That 1 day extra may be of from Monday to Sunday. Right? From Monday to Sunday exactly 7 days. Out of 7, getting Monday will be possibility 1. So 1 by 7 under non-leap year case. Then leap year case, 366 days in leap year. Out of 366 days, completely we get 364 days in 52 weeks. I mean 52 Mondays. That extra 1 Monday possibility from 2 different cases. That is either from Monday, Tuesday or Sunday, Monday. Right? Because 2 days, no. Those 2 days may be of these possibilities. Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday and so on. Sunday, Monday. Here Monday, where all you can see? Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday. 2 possibilities. So out of 7 exhaustives, favorable cases are 2. Out of these 2, getting 53rd Monday is possible. Therefore 2 by 7 under leap year case. Are you clear, guys? These only neatly we can write the solution. I hope you are clear, isn't it? So let us consider the events solution. As you all know that non-leap year contains 365 days, right? Out of them, non-leap year contains 365 days. Out of 365, 364 days, out of 365, 364 days make 52 weeks plus 1 day. Right? Out of 365 days, 364 days make completely 52 weeks. 52 weeks means definitely we'll be having 52 Mondays also. Plus 1 day. Right? We need to observe that extra 1 day. The remaining 1 day. Write down. The remaining 1 day may be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right? Then sample space of this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Exhaustive cases are 7. Therefore, probability of getting 53rd Monday. So already 52 weeks, 52 Mondays we got for 364 days. That 1 day extra what we have now, that 1 day may be of these 7. Therefore 1 by 7. We have only 1 Monday. You understand, guys? This is the answer. Next, for leap year, 366 days. Out of these 364 complete 364 days make 52 weeks and 2 days extra. Then those 2 days sample space would be Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. So possibility cases are 7. Therefore, probability of getting 53 Mondays on leap year. So here one is there, here one is there. 2 possibilities: Monday, Tuesday or Sunday, Monday. 2 by 7 is the answer. Guys, got the answer or no? Do you understand the concept? So very easy concept, guys. Leap year and non-leap year. So leap year has 366 days. Non-leap year has 365 days. In that, out of 365 days in non-leap year, 364 days completely we get 52 Mondays. I mean 52 weeks. Just we need 53rd Monday. 53rd Monday means already from 52 weeks, 52 Mondays we get. That extra 1 day, 53rd Monday, possibilities from these 7, from Monday to Saturday. Therefore, here Monday to Saturday means Monday only 1 possibility, 1 by 7. Then in leap year 366 days, that means exactly 364 days make 52 Mondays, and 53rd Monday possibility among 2 different days, either Monday, Tuesday or Sunday, Monday. Right? 2 different extra days we got now. Those extra possibilities were these only. These possible cases, exhaustive sample space, 7. So out of those 53 Mondays on leap year, either from Monday, Tuesday or Sunday, Monday. So 2 by 7. Total exhaustives are 7. Favorables were 2. So 2 by 7. Are you clear, guys? So very important problem this one. In case of Mondays, they may ask any other day, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, anything. Okay. So everything, solution will not change, only the day will change. That's it. Are you clear, guys? So this is the problem. And look at here, example number 37, 38, 39 from your textbook. They are all similar kind of problems from example 36. Independent events, directly A and B, calculation, product of A and B. That's why I did not solve, because again it will be a repeated ones. But the question might be the different, but solution remains same. P of A into P of B, independent events, product only. That's why I did not solve. Now I have started from example number 40, which is very much interesting problem. So kindly follow this problem very thoroughly, because this is very important question. Many times in the examination it was asked. So that is the reason I am just stressing upon this problem. Kindly learn thoroughly and do not confuse in leap year and non-leap year. Remember, so leap year has 366 days. I mean 364 plus 2 days extra. And here non-leap year has 365 days. 364 days plus 1 day extra. That 1 day, 2 days means, because in non-leap year we have exactly 52 weeks. 52 weeks means 364. 364 days, but we need 365. That means 1 day extra we are getting it. That may be of from Monday to Sunday. So 1 by 7. Here in 366 days, exactly 366 days, 364 days have 52 Mondays. Though 53rd Monday we get from two possible cases, either from Monday, Tuesday or Sunday, Monday. Why those two means? Because 2 days are remained. Those 2 days may be of combination of these possibilities. So total exhaustives were 7. Out of these 7 possibilities, favorable were Monday, Tuesday and Sunday, Monday 2. Therefore 2 by 7. I hope I am clear, guys, and you are following all the problems. So hope I am just making you the concepts clear. So please refer the concepts thoroughly, practice, solve the problems. Please, after watching, take the problem, note down the problem and try to solve by your own. Try to understand the concept, isn't it? So with this, I'm just going to wind up today's video, and then tomorrow we shall continue few more example problems. Now these are all level 2 problems. Level 3 still we have conditional probability. That is the main concept. So there we will be applying that conditional probability. So here all the problems easily you could identify whether they are dependent and independent. Those problems were little tricky ones, and then 5 marks questions they are. Very important and interesting questions. So level 3 when we reach, then you will understand what kind of questions you are going to get. So with this, I'm going to close this video. Hope you are following. Practice all the problems. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Have a nice day.